Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the future to explore what the world might look like in 2050. From technological advancements to societal changes, let's take a journey into the unknown. Imagine, if you will, standing on the precipice of tomorrow, the familiar landscape of today receding behind you, replaced by a horizon shimmering with possibilities we can only begin to sketch. This isn't about crystal balls or unfounded prophecies. It's an exercise in informed speculation, guided by the relentless currents of scientific discovery and human ingenuity. The universe, in its vastness, operates on principles, and so too does the arc of human progress. My name is Abdul Basit, and I invite you to join me as we sift through the data, extrapolate the trends, and dare to envision what awaits us just a few decades hence. What marvels will become commonplace? What profound challenges will test our species? The year 2050 isn't just a date on a calendar, it's a canvas upon which the dreams and dilemmas of our present will be painted. We'll consider how the seeds planted today in our laboratories, our think tanks, and our global conversations might blossom, or perhaps how they might wither if not tended with wisdom and foresight. So, buckle up your cosmic seatbelts. We're about to embark on an intellectual voyage, a thought experiment of grand proportions. We'll traverse realms from the infinitesimal, where artificial intelligence redefines cognition, to the astronomical, where humanity might establish its first tentative footholds beyond Earth. This exploration is for the curious, for those who look up at the stars and wonder not just what is, but what could be. Let the journey begin. When we speak of artificial intelligence in 2050, I want you to cast aside your notions of today's chatbots or slightly clever algorithms. We are venturing into territory where AI might approach, or in some specialized domains even surpass, human cognitive abilities. Think of it not as a mere tool, but as a pervasive, integrated aspect of existence, perhaps even a new kind of mind sharing our planet. The distinction between artificial general intelligence, capable of understanding or learning any intellectual task a human can, and today's narrow AI will be stark. We're contemplating systems that don't just execute commands, but understand context, nuance, and perhaps even intent to a degree that feels almost alive. Imagine your daily life. Your personal assistant isn't just a voice responding to queries, it's an intuitive partner, anticipating your needs, managing your complex schedule across professional and personal spheres, curating information with an almost prescient understanding of your interests. Homes won't just be smart, they'll be adaptive ecosystems, learning your habits, optimizing energy, security, and comfort in ways that are seamless and almost invisible. This isn't just convenience. It's a fundamental reweaving of the fabric of how we interact with our environment and our information, a constant subtle dialogue between human and machine intelligence. The world of work will undoubtedly undergo a profound transformation. Many tasks, particularly those that are repetitive, data-intensive, or physically hazardous, will likely be fully automated. But this isn't necessarily the dystopian vision of mass unemployment some fear. Instead, consider a future where AI augments human capabilities, freeing us from drudgery to focus on creativity, critical thinking, and interpersonal collaboration. New professions will emerge, centered around designing, managing, and ethically guiding these powerful AI systems. The synergy between human insight and artificial processing power could unlock unprecedented levels of productivity and innovation across all industries. Consider the realm of scientific discovery. AI in 2050 could be the tireless researcher that never sleeps, sifting through unimaginable volumes of data, identifying patterns and correlations that no human mind or even teams of human minds could discern. From formulating new hypotheses in fundamental physics to accelerating the development of life-saving drugs, AI could act as a powerful catalyst, dramatically shortening the cycles of research and development. Imagine an AI that could model complex climate systems with unparalleled accuracy, or design novel materials with properties we can currently only dream of. The universe has many secrets, and AI might just be the key to unlocking a few more of them. Of course, such profound power brings with it equally profound ethical considerations. How do we ensure these advanced AIs are aligned with human values? How do we prevent inherent biases in their training data from being amplified and perpetuated? The question of control becomes paramount. And as these systems grow more sophisticated, we may even grapple with philosophical questions about the nature of consciousness itself. If an AI can learn, adapt, and perhaps even express something akin to creativity or emotion, what does that mean for our definition of life and sentience? These aren't just technical challenges, they are deeply human ones. The creative arts, too, will feel the touch of AI. We might see entirely new forms of art, music and literature generated by AI, or more likely co-created in a dynamic partnership between human artists and intelligent algorithms. Imagine an AI that can compose a symphony in the style of Bach after listening to his entire oeuvre, or one that can generate breathtaking visual art based on abstract emotional prompts. This doesn't diminish human creativity. Rather, it could expand its boundaries, offering new tools and new perspectives for artistic expression. The muse of the 21st century might just be an algorithm. Education is another domain ripe for an AI revolution. Personalized learning paths, tailored to each student's individual pace, strengths and weaknesses, could become the norm. AI tutors could provide one-on-one support, adapting their teaching methods in real time to ensure optimal comprehension. This could democratize access to high-quality education, breaking down geographical and economic barriers. Imagine a system that truly understands how you learn best and guides you on a lifelong journey of discovery, fostering curiosity and critical thinking from an early age. The global AI landscape by 2050 will likely be a complex interplay of collaboration and competition. Nations will vie for leadership in AI development, recognizing its strategic importance in economic, scientific, and even geopolitical terms. However, the sheer complexity of the challenges, particularly in areas like AI safety and ethics, will also necessitate unprecedented international cooperation. We might see global consortiums established to set standards and share best practices, ensuring that the development of advanced AI benefits all of humanity, not just a select few. There's also the subtle yet crucial aspect of misinterpretation. As AIs become more integrated into the decision-making processes of our society, from financial markets to healthcare diagnostics, perhaps even to judicial support systems, the potential for an AI to misunderstand human intent or to operate on flawed assumptions derived from its data becomes a significant concern. Ensuring robust transparency, explainability, and the capacity for human oversight will be critical to building trust and mitigating risks. We must remember that these systems, however intelligent, are reflections of the data we feed them and the goals we set for them. Ultimately, as we gaze towards 2050, the question of AI's role remains one of the most compelling and uncertain. Will it be a docile servant, an indispensable partner, a challenging peer, or something else entirely, something we can't yet fully conceive? The answer likely lies not just in the technology itself, but in the wisdom, foresight, and ethical frameworks we humans develop alongside it. The symphony of intelligence is gaining new, powerful voices, and our task is to ensure the resulting composition is one of harmony, not discord. When we look up at the night sky, we're not just seeing distant points of light, we're seeing potential destinations, future frontiers for humankind. By 2050, our current endeavors in space, the International Space Station, robotic probes to Mars, new generations of rockets will be the historical launchpad for far more ambitious undertakings. The fundamental drivers remain the insatiable human curiosity to explore, the pragmatic need for resources, and perhaps the long-term imperative for the survival and propagation of our species. Space isn't just out there, it's increasingly becoming an extension of the human domain. The Moon, our closest celestial neighbor, will likely transition from a site of fleeting visits to a place of permanent or semi-permanent human presence. Imagine lunar bases, not just as Spartan outposts, but as burgeoning research facilities, a unique platform for astronomy free from Earth's atmospheric distortion, and perhaps even a proving ground for technologies needed for deeper space missions. We might see the beginnings of lunar industry mining for helium-3, a potential fuel for future fusion reactors, or utilizing lunar regolith for construction. The Moon in 2050 could be a critical stepping stone, a gateway to the solar system. Mars, the red planet, will continue to beckon. While a fully self-sustaining Martian colony by 2050 might still be in its nascent stages, it's highly probable that human missions, perhaps extended stays, will have occurred. The challenges are immense: the long journey, the harsh radiation environment, the thin atmosphere, the lower gravity, and the critical need for reliable life support systems and in-situ resource utilization, essentially living off the Martian land. But human ingenuity thrives on such challenges. We'll see advancements in habitat design, water extraction, and food production specifically tailored for the Martian environment. Beyond Mars, the lure of the outer solar system will grow stronger. Asteroid mining, once the realm of science fiction, could become a tangible economic activity. These celestial bodies are rich in valuable minerals, including platinum group metals and water ice, crucial for creating propellant in space. Robotic missions, perhaps followed by human-tended operations, could be dispatched to resource-rich near-Earth objects or even ventured into the main asteroid belt. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn, like Europa with its subsurface ocean or Titan with its methane lakes, will be prime targets for sophisticated robotic explorers searching for signs of life and paving the way for future human visits, however distant. Propulsion technology is the key that unlocks the solar system. By 2050, we might see the maturation of advanced concepts beyond chemical rockets. Nuclear, thermal, or nuclear electric propulsion could drastically reduce travel times to Mars and beyond. Perhaps early prototypes of fusion rockets, promising even greater speeds and efficiency, will be undergoing testing. Solar sails, harnessing the gentle pressure of sunlight, could be used for cargo transport or long-duration missions. The physics of faster-than-light travel will likely still be theoretical, but the push for faster, more efficient interplanetary transit will be relentless. This expansion will inevitably lead to the growth of a space economy. Beyond national space agencies, private companies will play an increasingly significant role. Space tourism, offering orbital or even lunar trips to those who can afford it, could be a burgeoning market. In-space manufacturing, taking advantage of microgravity and vacuum conditions, might produce unique materials or components. The extraction and utilization of space resources will not just support exploration, but could also provide economic returns, fundamentally changing our relationship with the cosmos from one of pure exploration to one of resource utilization. The geopolitical landscape of space exploration will be fascinating. Will it be a new space race, driven by national prestige and strategic advantage? Or will the sheer cost and complexity of ambitious projects like a crewed mission to Mars or establishing a lunar base necessitate greater international collaboration? I suspect we'll see a mixture of both. The Artemis Accords are an early example of attempts to establish norms of behavior for lunar exploration, but the potential for competition, particularly over resources or strategic locations, will remain. The high frontier will have its own set of treaties and tensions. Becoming a multi-planetary species, even in its earlier stages, will have a profound psychological and societal impact back on Earth. The overview effect experienced by astronauts who see Earth from space could become more widely understood and appreciated, fostering a greater sense of global unity and environmental responsibility. The challenges of establishing off-world outposts will drive innovation in closed-loop life support systems, robotics, and sustainable living technologies that could have significant benefits for life on our home planet. It changes our perspective on who we are and our place in the universe. The search for extraterrestrial life will intensify, armed with new tools. Advanced space telescopes, perhaps successors to James Webb, will be capable of analyzing the atmospheres of exoplanets with unprecedented detail, searching for biosignatures, chemical indicators of life. Probes sent to ocean worlds within our own solar system, like Europa or Enceladus, might carry sophisticated instruments designed to detect microbial life in their subsurface seas. The discovery of life beyond Earth in any form would be one of the most profound scientific and philosophical moments in human history. What about the long-term vision, the dream of interstellar travel? By 2050, journeying to another star system will almost certainly still be a dream. However, the foundational research into the immense challenges, the vast distances, the incredible energies required, the decades or centuries of travel time will likely be underway. Projects like Breakthrough Starshot, aiming to send tiny probes to Alpha Centauri, represent the very earliest conceptual steps. Perhaps by 2050 we'll have a clearer roadmap of the technological hurdles that must be overcome before humanity can truly reach for the stars. transforming a distant dream into a tangible, albeit monumental, engineering project for future generations. Chapter 3. As we peer into 2050, the state of our planet's climate and ecosystems looms large, a critical variable in the human equation. It's impossible to discuss the future without acknowledging the immense pressures we've placed on Earth's natural systems. The scientific consensus is clear. Our climate is changing, and human activity is the primary driver. The question for 2050 is not things will be different, but different, and how effectively we will have navigated the challenges. The urgency we feel today will be amplified, the consequences more tangible. By mid-century, even with concerted global efforts, some impacts of climate change will be unavoidable due to the inertia of the Earth's systems. We can anticipate further sea level rise, threatening coastal cities and communities worldwide. Extreme weather events, more intense hurricanes, prolonged droughts, devastating wildfires, and unprecedented heat waves are likely to become more frequent and severe. Average global temperatures will continue to climb, though the extent of that climb depends critically on actions taken in the preceding decades. The map of habitable and arable land could be redrawn. These climatic shifts will exert enormous pressure on global ecosystems. Biodiversity loss, already a crisis, could accelerate as habitats shrink, fragment, or become unsuitable for their native species. Species will attempt to migrate, but many will be unable to adapt quickly enough. Ocean acidification, a direct consequence of absorbing excess atmospheric carbon dioxide, will continue to threaten marine life, particularly coral reefs and shellfish. The intricate web of life, which sustains us all, will be significantly stressed, its resilience tested as never before. Humanity, however, is an adaptive species. By 2050, we will have seen significant investment in adaptation strategies. Coastal cities might feature advanced seawalls, floating infrastructure, or planned retreats from the most vulnerable areas. Agricultural practices will have evolved, with drought-resistant crops, precision irrigation, and perhaps more indoor vertical farming to ensure food security in a changing climate. Resilient infrastructure designed to withstand extreme weather will be a priority in urban planning and development. Adaptation won't solve the root problem, but it will be crucial for managing the unavoidable consequences. The controversial topic of geoengineering may move from theoretical discussion to small-scale experimentation or even deployment in certain scenarios if the climate situation becomes dire enough. This could involve techniques like solar radiation management, attempting to reflect a small percentage of sunlight back into space, or large-scale carbon capture and sequestration technologies. These approaches carry their own significant risks and ethical dilemmas and would likely only be considered as measures of last resort, not substitutes for aggressive emissions reductions. The governance of such technologies would be a monumental global challenge. The cornerstone of any optimistic climate future for 2050 lies in a radical transformation of our energy systems. Renewable energy sources, solar, wind, geothermal, and perhaps advanced forms of nuclear power like fusion, if it becomes viable, will need to be the dominant forms of energy production. We'll need breakthroughs in energy storage to manage the intermittency of renewables and smart grids to distribute power efficiently. The transition away from fossil fuels will need to be well advanced, driven by both technological innovation and strong policy incentives. This transition will necessitate profound societal shifts. Patterns of consumption will likely change, with a greater emphasis on sustainability and circular economies. Urban planning will prioritize public transportation, green spaces, and energy-efficient buildings. Global cooperation on climate action, already a complex dance of national interests and shared responsibilities, will need to reach unprecedented levels of commitment and effectiveness. The Paris Agreement's goals will be the benchmark against which the efforts of the early 21st century are judged. One of the most challenging social consequences could be the displacement of populations due to climate impacts, so-called climate refugees. Rising sea levels, desertification, and resource scarcity could force millions to move, creating new pressures on host regions and potentially leading to geopolitical instability. Addressing this human dimension of climate change with compassion and foresight will be a major test of global governance and solidarity. International agreements on migration and aid will become even more critical, yet amidst these daunting challenges there's also room for hope. By 2050, we could see success stories, regions that have successfully transitioned to 100% renewable energy, ecosystems that have been restored through dedicated conservation efforts, technologies that have made significant inroads in drawing down atmospheric carbon. Perhaps a new generation, raised with a deeper understanding of environmental stewardship, will lead the way in forging a more sustainable relationship with the planet. The narrative of 2050 is not yet written. It can be one of resilience and positive change. Ultimately, the climate and ecosystems of 2050 will reflect the choices we make today and in the coming years. It's a story of interconnectedness. Climate affects health, the economy, global stability, and our very ability to thrive. Addressing climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's fundamental to every other aspect of the future we are trying to build. The Earth is a complex, dynamic system, and we are an integral part of it. Our future depends on recognizing and respecting that intricate dance. Chapter 4. The evolution of healthcare by 2050 promises a landscape where medicine is not just reactive, treating illness as it arises, but increasingly predictive, personalized, and even regenerative. Imagine a future where your unique genetic makeup, lifestyle, and environmental exposures are all factored into a healthcare plan tailored specifically for you. This isn't a one-size-fits-all approach, it's medicine sharpened to the individual, aiming to optimize well-being and prevent disease before it takes root. The very definition of health might expand beyond the mere absence of disease. Gene editing technologies like CRISPR-Cas9 and its more advanced successors will likely have matured significantly. By 2050, we could see cures or effective treatments for a host of inherited genetic diseases, cystic fibrosis, Huntington's disease, sickle cell anemia, that are currently life-limiting or incurable. The ethical debate surrounding germline editing, changes that can be passed to future generations, will continue, but the therapeutic potential for somatic cell editing, targeting non-reproductive cells to alleviate suffering, will be immense. Precision will be key, minimizing off-target effects and ensuring equitable access. Artificial intelligence will be an indispensable partner in the healthcare ecosystem of 2050. AI algorithms will sift through vast datasets of medical images, genomic information, and patient records to provide diagnoses with remarkable speed and accuracy, often exceeding human capabilities in specific tasks. AI will also revolutionize drug discovery, simulating molecular interactions and identifying promising candidates for new therapies at a fraction of the time and cost currently required. This synergy between human medical expertise and AI's analytical power will accelerate the pace of medical breakthroughs. Nanotechnology will open up entirely new avenues for treatment at the cellular and molecular level. Imagine nanobots, microscopic machines, capable of navigating the bloodstream to deliver drugs directly to cancerous cells, repair damaged tissues, or even clear arterial plaques. These tiny emissaries could provide targeted interventions with minimal side effects, transforming how we approach complex diseases. The precision offered by nanomedicine could make previously intractable conditions manageable or even curable by working from the inside out. Regenerative medicine holds the promise of repairing or replacing damaged tissues and organs. By 2050, we might routinely see the use of lab-grown organs, cultivated from a patient's own cells, eliminating the need for donors and the risk of rejection. Stem cell therapies could be widely used to regenerate damaged heart muscle after a heart attack, restore vision, or repair spinal cord injuries. This isn't just about extending life. It's about restoring function and quality of life, pushing the boundaries of what the human body can recover from. The science of aging itself will be a major focus. Rather than simply treating age-related diseases as they appear, research will delve deeper into the fundamental mechanisms of the aging process. By 2050, we may have interventions that can slow down cellular senescence, improve metabolic health, and enhance resilience to age-related decline. The goal won't be immortality, but health span, extending the period of life spent in good health and vigor. This could profoundly reshape societal structures, from retirement ages to intergenerational dynamics. Mental health, long a neglected aspect of healthcare, will likely receive far greater attention and more effective treatments. Advances in neuroscience, neuroimaging, and AI-driven analytics will provide a deeper understanding of brain disorders. This could lead to novel therapies, including more targeted psychopharmacology, advanced neuromodulation techniques, and personalized digital mental health interventions. Destigmatization efforts, coupled with a better understanding of the biological underpinnings of mental illness, will hopefully make seeking help as routine as addressing a physical ailment. However, a critical challenge will be ensuring global health equity. The incredible advancements happening in affluent nations must not leave the rest of the world behind. By 2050, there will be an ongoing, urgent need for mechanisms to ensure that breakthroughs in diagnostics, treatments, and preventative care are accessible and affordable globally. Telemedicine, AI-powered diagnostic tools for remote areas, and innovative financing models will be crucial in bridging this gap. Health, after all, should be a universal human right, not a privilege of geography or wealth. Wearable technology and continuous health monitoring will become ubiquitous, providing a constant stream of physiological data. These devices won't just track steps or heart rate, they'll monitor biomarkers, detect early warning signs of disease, and provide personalized feedback to encourage healthier behaviors. Healthcare will shift from episodic interventions when you're sick to a continuous, proactive engagement with your own well-being. This data-rich environment will empower individuals and provide researchers with unparalleled insights into human health at a population scale. All these advancements will contribute to a redefinition of what it means to be healthy and could lead to significantly longer, healthier lives for many. The societal implications are vast. How will we support an aging yet still active population? What will be the impact on family structures, economies, and the very meaning of different life stages? The medicine of 2050 won't just change how we treat disease, it will change how we experience life itself, offering the potential for a future where more people live not just longer but better. Chapter 5, The way we move ourselves and our goods is fundamental to the functioning of society, and by 2050, transportation will have undergone a metamorphosis driven by technology, sustainability imperatives, and a desire for greater efficiency. Today's familiar landscape of congested highways, polluting engines, and often frustrating commutes will, we hope, give way to systems that are smarter, cleaner, and more seamlessly integrated into our lives. Consider the sheer amount of time and resources currently consumed by inefficient transport. The potential for improvement is enormous. Self-driving vehicles, or autonomous vehicles, AVs, are poised to become a common sight, if not the norm, in many urban and highway environments by 2050. The transition will be gradual, but the implications are profound. AVs promise significantly enhanced safety by removing human error, the leading cause of accidents. They could optimize traffic flow, reducing congestion and travel times. For individuals, particularly the elderly or those with disabilities, AVs offer newfound independence and mobility. Cities will be redesigned as less space is needed for parking, freeing it up for green areas or pedestrian zones. Electric vehicles, EVs, will likely dominate the personal and commercial vehicle market. Advances in battery technology will mean longer ranges, faster charging times, and lower costs, making EVs more practical and accessible than their internal combustion engine predecessors. The charging infrastructure will be widespread and integrated into homes, workplaces, and public spaces. This shift will dramatically reduce air pollution in cities and lessen our reliance on fossil fuels, contributing significantly to climate change mitigation efforts, provided the electricity itself is generated from clean sources. For longer distances, high-speed rail networks will continue to expand, offering an efficient and comfortable alternative to short-haul flights. But the real game changer for intercity and even intercontinental travel could be hyperloop systems. Envision pods traveling at near supersonic speeds through low-pressure tubes powered by renewable energy. While the engineering and economic challenges are substantial, a functioning hyperloop network by 2050 could revolutionize long-distance travel, making it faster and more sustainable than ever before, connecting major economic hubs with unprecedented speed. The dream of flying cars, or more accurately, personal air mobility solutions and larger electric vertical takeoff and landing (eVTOL) aircraft might finally take to the skies in a meaningful way. These could serve as air taxis in congested urban areas, provide rapid emergency response, or offer on-demand transport to remote locations. Drone technology will also mature for widespread package delivery, reducing road traffic and speeding up logistics. Regulating this new layer of airspace and ensuring safety will, of course, be paramount challenges for authorities. Underpinning all these advancements will be smart infrastructure. Roads, traffic signals, and vehicles will communicate with each other in real time, creating a dynamic, responsive transportation network. This vehicle-to-everything V2X communication will enable smoother traffic flow, collision avoidance, and efficient routing. Cities will use vast amounts of data to manage their transport systems proactively, optimizing for energy use, travel time, and public convenience. The city itself becomes an intelligent participant in managing movement. While electrification will be dominant, the search for sustainable fuels for sectors harder to electrify, like long-haul aviation or shipping, will continue. Advanced biofuels, synthetic fuels created using renewable energy and captured carbon, or even hydrogen fuel cells could play significant roles. By 2050, the fuel that powers our world's movement will be far more diverse and significantly cleaner than it is today, driven by the urgent need to decarbonize the entire transport sector. The sharing economy will likely extend its influence deeply into transportation. Fewer people may feel the need to own a personal vehicle, especially in urban areas. Instead, a rich ecosystem of on-demand mobility services, autonomous ride-hailing, e-bike and e-scooter shares, integrated public transit apps, will provide convenient and cost-effective transportation tailored to individual needs. This shift could reduce the total number of vehicles on the road, further alleviating congestion and resource consumption. The impact on urban design will be transformative. With fewer privately owned cars and less need for parking spaces, as AVs can park themselves remotely or be in constant use, cities can reclaim vast amounts of land. Streets could become more pedestrian and cyclist-friendly, with wider sidewalks, dedicated bike lanes, and more public parks and green spaces. The very character of our cities could change, becoming more livable, breathable, and human-centered rather than car-centric. Ultimately, the experience of travel in 2050 could be fundamentally different, faster certainly, but also safer, more predictable, and more environmentally responsible. The stress and frustration often associated with daily commutes or long journeys might be significantly reduced. Transportation could become less of a daily battle and more of a seamless, integrated, and perhaps even enjoyable part of our lives, allowing us to connect with people and places with greater ease and less impact on the planet we all share. And so our journey to 2050, a brief glimpse through the unfolding tapestry of time, draws to a close. We've traversed the realms of intelligent machines, touched the soil of distant worlds, confronted the awesome power of our planet's climate, marveled at the potential to redefine health, and reimagined the very way we move. What we've discussed isn't a definitive prediction, of course. The future, as I often say, is not a destination we arrive at, but a reality we actively create through the choices we make today, the questions we dare to ask, and the challenges we bravely confront. The threads of innovation, ethics, sustainability, and human aspiration are deeply interwoven. The advancements in AI could help us solve climate change or design better healthcare, just as our ventures into space could inspire new technologies and a greater appreciation for our home world. The path to 2050 is paved with both extraordinary opportunities and significant responsibilities. It calls for wisdom, for collaboration on a global scale, and for a steadfast commitment to harnessing our ever-growing knowledge for the betterment of all humankind and the planet we inhabit. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more exciting content about the future. What do you think will happen in 2050? Let us know in the comments below. The conversation doesn't end here. It's an ongoing dialogue, and your perspectives, your hopes, and your concerns are all part of shaping that yet-to-be-written story of tomorrow. Keep looking up, keep questioning, and keep wondering.